Coming up on Cedar Falls City News, some of your appliances may be draining power and costing you money. Plus, a room full of detectives solves a big mystery at the library. Cedar Falls City News starts now. Hello and welcome to Cedar Falls City News. I'm John Bloomberg. Our goal is to keep you up to date with city projects and programs so that you, the citizens of Cedar Falls, are better informed. We'll also have human interest features so you can get to know the people who run your city a little better. A big mystery was solved at the Cedar Falls Public Library last Friday night. There were a lot of suspects in the murder of the loaded librarian, and even more people trying to figure out who done it. In the end, one person figured out who the killer really was.
That's when she quit driving and I started.
The suspects were all here.
With me driving, there wouldn't be no more accidents.
And they all seemed to have a motive.
That evil witch? How dare she?
In something out of the board game Clue, the Cedar Falls Public Library hosted a murder mystery last week. It all started out innocently enough, when an audience of people gathered for the reading of a will.
Greetings from the grave. I, Loda Bucks, being of sound mind and solvent bank account.
But when one person got all of the deceased's millions of dollars...
Really, I'm keeping all of this money for myself. Every penny, every peseta, every rupee, every euro, every yen, every million lira.
And a group of others were left with nothing but small items bequeathed to them, like a wrench, a horseshoe, and a rolling pin. There was frustration. And afterward, as everyone mingled,
do you have a lot of money?
I do. For all I can.
There was an announcement.
Nobody panic! Just please get in the space as quickly and as orderly as possible. We need to get this moving. Things have gone terribly, terribly awry.
Rocky, the one who had inherited all of the money, had been murdered. His corpse surrounded by potential murder weapons, like a wrench, a horseshoe, and a rolling pin.
My guess is someone came in here, slam dunked him with one of these items scattered around the body. Unfortunately, most of these things are gifts you people inherited.
Everyone, it seemed, was a suspect, but all claimed their innocence.
I tell you, I hated the guy, but there's no way I'd do it, that's for sure.
No, there's no way I did it. Like, I would not get blood on my hands. That is like, ew. Like, this is designer.
I don't even need to do it.
I didn't even know he was in that room. I didn't even know.
It was a tough case. Luckily, there was a standing room only crowd there to help solve it. They took notes and looked for clues all over the library. Everyone had an opinion on who they thought was the murderer.
The lieutenant.
Why?
Because she's the only one who shouldn't be on the list of suspects. She's on the suspects list. But I haven't figured out why yet.
I think it's the librarian, because the librarian's the only one who isn't on the list of suspects, and consequently is the only one that no one would think of.
Well, I think it's all of them.
All of them?
I'm going with the lawyer myself.
Why's that?
I think she's the only one who said that the room was dark, yet when the room was light, she couldn't see.
In the end, it was the nurse in the library.
You're under arrest.
With the hammer.
Miss Bucks?
And the sleuth who figured it all out was audience member Andrew Holland.
I trust my sixth, possibly my seventh sense, and I came up with the answer. I tell you what, I trusted my snout because I looked at the nurse and I said, she smells wrong.
For figuring out the mystery, Andrew won an MP3 player. The murder of the loaded librarian was free to the public. It was funded by a grant from the Cedar Falls Civic Foundation Catherine Ray Fund for Library Programming and the Friends of the Cedar Falls Public Library. The show was performed by Half-Masted 3.2, which is a local improv troupe, and they perform every Friday night in the atrium of the library at 6:30. Well, this is nothing to be afraid of, but phantoms may be haunting your home. And if so, Cedar Falls Utilities has a way to help you out. A phantom load is the energy consumed by a device when the power is turned off. For example, when you turn off a television, the device still draws a small amount of power. Now, it is small, but when you combine it with all of the other devices in your home, these phantom loads can cost you money 24 hours a day, and it can become significant. The U.S. Department of Energy reports that 75% of the electricity that powers home electronics is consumed while the devices are turned off. You can save energy by unplugging devices and appliances when they are not in use, or you can use a power strip with an on and off switch and turn the power strip off when you power off the devices. CFU is offering a handy way to monitor how much energy an appliance is using. Kilowatt energy meters are now available for checkout from CFU Energy Services at no charge. The devices are used to measure the amount of energy that appliances and electronics use, as well as how much money it costs to run them.
They just measure how much energy is that piece of equipment. Let's say it was a VCR you wanted to find out, or maybe a better example is a refrigerator. I want to see what my refrigerator is using over time. So you'd unplug it and plug this in line, and then you'd leave it for about a week and a half, take the readings off, bring it back to us, and we'll help you decipher if it's using too much or if it's right where it should be.
On an average, customers could save $120 a year by unplugging electrical devices when they are not in use. You can contact CFU Energy Services for more information on energy efficiency or to check out a kilowatt meter. And a message from Cedar Falls Fire Rescue. Of course, we move our clocks ahead 1 hour March 8th as daylight savings time begins, and it's a great time to check the batteries in your smoke detectors in your house. And they also remind you to change the batteries in your flashlights and portable radios too. Batteries in flashlights and portable radios need to be changed at least once a year. And once you've changed the batteries, they ask you to be sure to have an emergency plan in place in case the lights go out in your home. Being prepared cuts the risk of being injured or worse during a power outage. Finally today, the Cedar Falls Parks Department is saying goodbye to a longtime employee. Fred Rickmeyer is hanging up his work boots after more than 33 years with the department. These are some photos from a celebration held for him on February 28th at Pheasant Ridge Golf Course Pro Shop. Fred started with the city on July 21st, 1975. And that's all for this edition of Cedar Falls City News. I'm John Bloomberg. Thank you for watching.